All right, so let's jump right into this really powerful idea from Islamic tradition. It's one of those concepts that kind of challenges everything we think we know about ownership, about materialism. We're going to explore what it actually means to live life with a traveler's mindset. And it all kicks off with a simple, but you'll see, a pretty profound question. So think about this for a second. Just picture an airport departure lounge. You know the place. It's all about transit, right? It's just a temporary stop on your way to somewhere else. Now, what if you saw someone in there, treating it like their home, decorating it lavishly, as if they're never leaving? And boom, right there, that's the heart of it. Why would anyone pour all their energy, their life's effort, into decorating a place they know they're going to leave? I mean, it's a question that really forces you to turn the mirror on yourself and ask, wait a minute, am I doing the exact same thing? One way to put it is that we act like we have a permanent title deed to this world, but the reality, we've just got a temporary transit visa. We spend our lives hoarding all this baggage for a journey that actually requires a really light touch. So, what's the real cost of carrying all this extra weight? Well, let's break down the spiritual and the emotional weight of all the stuff we accumulate. I mean, consumer culture makes a ton of promises, right? But do they actually deliver? This is where it gets really interesting. Look at the promise versus the reality. Materialism sells us this idea of stability, peace, security. But what do we often get instead? Anxiety, attachment, this spiritual burden. The more we cling to things, the heavier they become. And this is where this core Islamic teaching just cuts right through all of that noise. It's a blunt, stark reminder that completely shatters the fantasy of permanence. I mean, think about it. If everything, including our own lives, is temporary, well, then our obsession with permanent things starts to look kind of strange, doesn't it? Okay, so if that's the problem, what's the solution? This is where the tradition offers up a pretty radical mindset shift. And it's not about rejecting the world, not at all. It's about completely reframing our relationship with it. And it's captured perfectly in this core instruction from the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. It's this invitation to see ourselves not as permanent residents here, but as strangers, as visitors just passing through. It sounds like a simple change in perspective, but man, the implications are huge. So what does that actually look like to be a traveler in this sense? Well, for starters, a traveler is alert, but they're not attached. They're focused on the destination, right? Not on decorating the airport terminal. And crucially, they carry only what's necessary, because anything else, it's just dead weight slowing you down. Now, let's be really clear about something. This isn't a call for poverty or abandoning your responsibilities. Islam doesn't condemn wealth at all. What it questions is our attachment to it. It's all about our inner state. See, owning things is fine. The problem is when your things start to own you. Let's go back to that airport analogy because it just makes this so clear. Imagine this, someone actually commissioning heavy, permanent marble statues for an airport lounge. I mean, it sounds completely absurd, right? Or how about this? Ordering these expensive, custom-made silk curtains for the windows of a waiting room that you're only going to be in for a couple of hours. The investment is just, it's totally out of whack with the reality of the situation. So does that make any sense? No, of course not. It's completely illogical. And yet, isn't this exactly how we so often live our lives? Pouring our hearts, our time, our energy into decorating a world we're just passing through. The Quran actually has this incredible phrase for it, the enjoyment of delusion. Now, the delusion isn't the enjoyment itself. Enjoying things is fine. The delusion is thinking that those things will last forever and that they are what define our ultimate reality. And all of this really brings us to the core concept here, spiritual detachment. And there's a beautiful way to think about it. It's about holding the world in your hands, but not in your heart. You can still engage with it, you can manage it, you can use it. That's what your hands are for. But you just don't let it take root inside your heart. And check out this quote from Umar ibn al-Khattab, one of the Prophet's closest companions. It just illustrates this mindset so perfectly. He said, "If patience and gratitude were camels, I would not care which one I rode." Wow. Basically, whether things are tough and he needs patience, or things are great and he needs gratitude, his inner state was free. He wasn't a slave to his circumstances, good or bad. That is real freedom. Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, but how do we actually do it? How do we cultivate this mindset in our own lives? Let's get practical and look at a few steps for how to travel light. Okay, first step, reframe what ownership even means. Start seeing your possessions as a trust, an amana, not something that's guaranteed to be yours forever. Second, simplify intentionally. Be proactive about reducing the stuff that just distracts you from your real purpose. Third is to invest upward. Focus on assets that actually survive death, things like charity, knowledge, good deeds. And finally, number 4, remember your departure. And look, this isn't meant to be depressing. It's meant to be liberating. Remembering death frees you from all the small, trivial stuff. And you see, all of this brings us right back to the beginning, back to the purpose of the journey itself. It's not about ignoring the trip, but about being smart and preparing for what comes next. So here's the bottom line. You are not a permanent resident. You're a traveler. And your boarding pass? It's already been issued. The departure time is set, even if you don't know exactly when it is. Your status here is in transit. So think about it. The wise traveler, the one who knows where they're going, they don't prepare the waiting room. They prepare the destination. And that simple shift in focus from the temporary lounge to the final home, well, that might just be the most important journey any of us ever take.